All right, let's jump right in today. We're going deep on The Bridge of Hope by Dinesh Kumar Rohilla.
Yeah.
And listeners are always curious about these newer books and how they stack up against those big names in self-help.
Yeah.
So, lucky for us, we've got some great material comparing The Bridge of Hope to classics, like The Alchemist, Man's Search for Meaning, Daring Greatly, and The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People.
Right.
But, before we even get to that, I'm kind of curious, like, what makes The Bridge of Hope stand out on its own right? Like, what was it that really kind of grabbed you about Rohilla's work here?
What really struck me, I think, was Rohilla's ambition. He doesn't just want to talk about personal growth.
Okay.
He wants to connect that to actual positive social change. He wants to give people a real blueprint for how to build emotional resilience, but not just so they can feel better, but so they can actually go out and make a difference in the world.
So it's like self-help, but with this much broader purpose. Okay. So I'm really curious about how that actually plays out in the book. What are some examples of the tools that he gives readers?
Well, one key area that he focuses on is emotional intelligence.
Okay.
But, he goes beyond just defining it.
Yeah.
He gives a really clear three-step process. First, becoming aware of your own emotions, then learning to manage them effectively, and then finally, using that understanding to connect with others through empathy.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not enough to just be aware of your feelings. It's about using that knowledge to do something,
Yeah,
to really build something.
exactly. It's about taking action.
Oh, okay. Now I'm thinking about like The Alchemist, which is a book that's all about, following your dreams,
Mhm.
right? So would you say The Bridge of Hope kind of takes a different approach?
Definitely. The Alchemist is beautiful and inspiring, right? It's like a spark for your imagination.
Mm.
But the Bridge of Hope is more, I guess, more grounded,
Yeah.
more focused on practical steps.
Yeah.
Like, he really wants to equip you with the tools to actually build something, not just dream about it.
So maybe this is a book for people who are looking for something more actionable, more concrete,
Absolutely.
something they can put to use right away. Okay. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about another classic, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Mhm.
Now this book explores finding meaning even in the face of just unimaginable suffering, concentration camps, those horrific experiences.
Yeah.
But both Man's Search for Meaning and The Bridge of Hope really deal with overcoming adversity. So I'm curious, how do their approaches actually differ?
Well, Frankel's insights come from, surviving truly horrific experiences, like you said, concentration camps.
Yeah.
So his focus is on finding meaning even in the darkest of times.
Right.
Rohilla, while acknowledging the hardships in life, really focuses more on building resilience for everyday life.
Yeah.
Navigating those challenges that we face in modern society.
So almost a different type of resilience, a different way of applying it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different lens on resilience.
Okay. So, building on this idea of resilience, Daring Greatly by Brene Brown also emphasizes vulnerability as being crucial for growth.
Right.
Does The Bridge of Hope touch on that concept as well?
It does. It does. Rohilla sees vulnerability as essential for growth, just like Brown does, but he kind of takes it a step further.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So while Brown really focuses on building stronger personal connections, those individual relationships, Rohilla believes that vulnerability can be a bridge to something much larger, like global unity.
So not just being vulnerable with people you're close to, but
Yeah.
using that to connect with, I don't know, with people from all walks of life to kind of break down some of those differences.
Exactly. And this actually leads to another one of Rohilla's core themes, and that's forgiveness.
Okay.
He argues that holding on to anger and resentment, it's like carrying around a heavy weight. You know?
Yeah.
It prevents us from moving forward, both personally and in our relationships with others.
But he's not just talking about like forgive and forget.
No, no, no. It's much deeper than that. He provides a really practical approach to forgiveness.
Okay.
He even suggests a journaling exercise where you write a letter to the person who hurt you,
Oh, wow.
and you express all your feelings, all of it. But ultimately, the goal is to make a conscious choice to let go of that resentment.
So you're not condoning what they did. You're just freeing yourself.
Exactly.
Wow. So powerful. And this ties back to that idea of building bridges, right?
Absolutely. Forgiveness creates space for compassion and empathy. Right?
Verdammt.
It allows us to connect with others authentically, even if they've hurt us in the past.
Yeah.
And that's a crucial step towards this larger vision of global unity.
Okay. This is making me think about another classic, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
And Stephen Covey, the author,
Hmm.
he gives this framework for personal transformation through developing these specific habits.
Right.
So would you say Rohilla has a similar approach in The Bridge of Hope?
There are definitely parallels.
Hmm.
You know, both authors offer a roadmap for growth, but their destinations are different.
How so?
So Covey emphasizes practical skills, right?
Okay.
Time management, goal setting, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Whereas Rohilla really prioritizes the emotional and social aspects.
So Covey is efficiency, effectiveness, and Rohilla is digging deeper into the emotional foundation.
Exactly. And Rohilla goes beyond just, personal development.
Okay.
He sees this emotional growth as fuel for social change.
Mm.
It's like he's saying, work on yourself, yes, but then use that growth to make a positive impact on the world,
Right, right. And I can see how that sets the Bridge of Hope apart,
Yeah,
right? It's not
exactly.
just about personal fulfillment. It's about creating this ripple effect,
Yeah,
positive change that extends outwards.
yeah.
And speaking of positive change, I was really struck by his emphasis on gratitude.
Oh, yeah, that's such an important point. He believes that practicing gratitude isn't just a feel-good exercise.
Hmm.
It's a powerful tool for transformation.
Okay.
And what's really fascinating is how he connects gratitude to social change.
Oh, how so?
He argues that, when we cultivate gratitude for what we have, it naturally opens our hearts to those who have less,
Yeah.
right? It cultivates a sense of compassion and generosity that can actually inspire us to act.
So almost like gratitude becomes a bridge to empathy, which then leads to action.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that action can take many forms, from small acts of kindness in our daily lives to participating in larger efforts to address social injustice. You know,
Hmm.
it's all connected.
Right. It's like he's providing a pathway from personal transformation to really making a difference in the world.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay. Now, I have to admit, sometimes, the state of the world can feel pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, I understand.
Does the Bridge of Hope offer any, I don't know, any solace for those feelings?
Absolutely. I mean, the book's very title, The Bridge of Hope, suggests that even amidst difficulties, there's always potential for connection and positive change.
Okay.
It's a call to become bridge builders ourselves.
What does he mean by bridge builders?
He's encouraging us to bridge those divides that separate us,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're personal,
Mm.
or cultural or political.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing our shared humanity and extending compassion, even to those who hold different views.
Yeah, that's a powerful message, especially in today's world where it feels like division and conflict are just everywhere.
Absolutely.
But, this whole idea of building bridges, creating positive change, I don't know, it can feel really daunting sometimes.
Yeah.
So does Rohilla offer any practical advice on how to actually do that?
Oh, he does. He really emphasizes that real change starts with those small individual actions.
Okay.
He gives this example of a woman who started a community garden in a low-income neighborhood.
Mm.
And, it brought people together, fostered a sense of connection, and even improved access to fresh food. It wasn't this massive world-changing initiative or anything.
Right.
But it made a real difference in that community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great example of how even those small actions can have this ripple effect outwards.
Exactly.
Like, what's that quote? Be the change you wish to see in the world.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Rohilla takes it a step further by giving people a framework for how those actions can fit into a bigger picture.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
He's not just saying, go do good things.
Yeah.
He's giving you a roadmap for aligning your personal growth with a larger purpose.
Right.
It's about cultivating those inner qualities like emotional intelligence, compassion, forgiveness,
Right.
and then channeling those qualities into actions that benefit not just yourself, but your community
Yeah.
and the world around you.
It's a powerful idea, and I think it's so relevant today, when it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the negativity and the division in the world. It sounds like Rohill is offering a way to move beyond those feelings and become an active agent for change, for positive change.
Precisely. And it all starts with that inner work, with cultivating the qualities that allow us to connect with others, to build bridges instead of walls. It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that even small acts of kindness and understanding can have a ripple effect far beyond what we can imagine.
So for our listeners out there, if you're feeling called to make a difference, to be part of something bigger than yourself, The Bridge of Hope might be the guide you need. It's a book that offers not just hope, but a path forward, a way to navigate these challenging times with resilience, with compassion, and with a commitment to creating a better future.
It's an invitation to become a bridge builder, to connect with others, to cultivate a sense of shared humanity, and to contribute to a world where everyone can thrive.
And on that inspiring note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. But we want to leave you with a question to ponder. If you could build a bridge of hope in your own life, what would it connect? What kind of impact would you want it to have? Maybe it's a bridge between yourself and someone you've been struggling to understand. Or maybe it's a bridge between your community and a group that feels marginalized or excluded. Or maybe it's even a bridge between the person you are now and the person you dream of becoming. Whatever it is, we encourage you to explore that vision and maybe even check out the Bridge of Hope to see how Rahila's insights can help you on that journey.